This is a white sage, and sage family is pretty huge. We'll talk about that some other time. I'm drying out right now. This is a personal harvest. I grow this. You can grow this on the ocean and in cold, wet environments. It's not conducive to Arizona or deserts like most people might think. This is the ceremonial sage that indigenous peoples of California and Texas and Mexico traditionally use for ceremonial purposes. In America, medicinally, it's used for exphorant, which is cleaning out your lungs. Um, so, anyway, so it's got a really nice smell, and by touching it or rubbing it, you're actually getting the oils from the plant all over you. And a lot of people, traditionally in a commercial sense, you'll see this wrapped up in huge bundles, and just like any product that the commercial industry promotes or sells, that's bad and that's usually wrong. And I can't speak for indigenous tribes and peoples and how they go about it ceremonially, but burning and destroying and wasting anything is just basically an excessive use. And if you wanted to use this, which most people that are consumers and users, when they buy a sage bundle or stick, is usually the only way it's available. And it's kind of sad, because it's the point of this is that these leaves, just by having them in a potpourri, in a natural sense, in a potpourri in a dish, is all that you would need to cleanse your whole room. Um, Whether you use these for ceremonial purposes, for energy cleansing, or whether you use them for um, virus cleaning. The reasons that they burn plants, traditionally, it's a long story, but it basically has to do with diseases, and the bubonic plague, and the English history, and European history. A lot of times they would burn, and in Greece they would burn plants, medicinal plants, to purify the air. And so in American and more recent indigenous tribal times, people still use white sage for ceremonial purposes that is along those effects. That definitely use it for purifying rituals. Um, but once again, so back to commercial end user, American uses these for, like I said, in a commercial sense, they have big bundles that, is the only way to buy it, is a huge bundle of it. And that's really wasteful. And if you just grow it, anytime that you wanted to burn any of this, one leaf, if you just light the end, it's like a piece of incense. When it's dried out, it ignites instantly. You just light it, and then put it out instantly, and walk 10 feet or throughout your house, and as quick as you can walk from one door, from the front door to the back door, is all that you need to purify your house, and or to use it for a traditional smell or cleansing purpose. That's spiritually. That's not necessarily scientifically gonna, permeate the whole room, or cubic feet, for instance, if you want to do math. But just to permeate the smell and to get the general essence in a house or in a room, simply lighting one leaf, immediately putting it out, and let the blunted end, the damper end, what's that? I can't think of the name of it right now. The dummy, whatever, where it's just going to start smoldering, and the smolder alone will be enough to permeate a whole house quickly. Any more than that will really overdo. Most people will not want to have that intense of a smell in their house. So I just don't seem to ever notice single leaves available, and always seems to be the big, I don't know what it is with the industry and sage and salvia family in general, where they always seem to make commercial products, and it really takes away from the natural indigenous reasons and or ceremonial practices, and the original purposes of the plant are for medicinal purposes, for edibility. You can eat this. This is a food, and this is a cleanser, like I said, for your lungs and for your body. And like I said, peoples that practice certain ceremonies use this for a long list of other reasons. So to disrespect this and to just take a whole pile of it and just light it on fire like it's a torch and walk around is really disrespectful, in my opinion, and not the intent or the original purpose of the plant. And indigenous peoples may very well light huge bonfires of it. I don't know. I do know that this sage does not grow in the same sense that lower qualities of sage, green sage, grows, and it's a waste plant, and you want to, basically you can burn out fields of it just to clear your fields. It's a waste. It's in such an excess. This plant's a little more finer and a little more valuable, and I do not know that in a natural sense, in the right climates, that it might just get overwhelmingly abundant, and they might eradicate it just in the sense to burn clear fields of it. I've personally eradicated sage on rural properties that were green sage, and it's the same type of plant that does the tumbleweeds type of growth. So it definitely becomes an invasive plant. And these plants I'll do more videos on. I've shown in the past, are personal garden plants of mine that I harvest, and it's just a really nice plant to have and grow. And I just wanted to do quite a long conversation on different aspects of it. The sage plant is related to artesmia, thung, Thujne. It is related to the mint family, even though it's not a four stem. And it's actually a pretty big family. Yeah, okay, anyway, have a good one.